This is Showcase, Faculty Exhibition 8 at the Jule Museum. Here's Sarah Coleman talking about the process behind her work.
The objects, the drawings, are just kind of field studies from a region in central Georgia, in the Republic of Georgia. I was there on a Fulbright studying the historic health landscapes on the Sadgeri Plateau. So there was a Soviet system of basically nature healing. So people would kind of go to the landscape that corresponded with whatever ailment they were suffering from. And originally the Sadgeri Plateau was kind of valued both for its fresh air, so originally a good place for tuberculosis patients, but also kind of historically valued for its mineral waters that kind of came to the surface of the landscape on their own because they're infused with carbon dioxide, and on their way up they kind of dissolve minerals. And so each spring, it was kind of part of the regime, the healing regime there, to visit the spring that kind of corresponded with the ailment and take that water in the appropriate dose. Anyway, when the Soviet Union fell, that system fell apart. And so there's these kind of villages that sprang up on the Sadgeri Plateau to support the sanatoria that they built to house people while they were out kind of taking the waters and the air. And yeah, after the fall, kind of the coherence between all of those pieces has sort of fallen apart. So what I was up there drawing was just kind of trying to take stock of those landscapes, the infrastructural landscapes. There was a railroad that connected all the sanatoria. And yeah, just kind of, I was working towards a master plan for an interpretive trail. And so these were just some studies that I did to kind of get acquainted with the landscape when I first arrived. Today, there's sort of one active sanatorium in the area. But for the most part, the sanatoria have been abandoned. They're kind of crumbling. The railroad that historically kind of connected the villages where you would, as a kind of health tourist, get off and, get a carriage ride to your sanatorium, those, a lot of people have left. A lot of young people have left the region to move to Tbilisi or to abroad. And so, yeah, it's kind of this idea of reinscribing a new tourism landscape that, tries to reinscribe coherence to all of those pieces by kind of connecting the water sources, passing through the villages, but connecting the water sources so that you can, again, taste the waters and have this kind of embodied reconnection with the landscape and finding new ways to value all of that, both because I think it's valuable and compelling and beautiful and interesting, but also kind of as a way of thinking about sustainable tourism for that region. Sometimes I think a lot about drawing is just a way of spending time. I think it's really different than taking a picture of the same thing because drawing is a sustained process, and so things happen while you're drawing. You feel the wind, the sun changes, people walk by and ask you what you're doing. And I think when you go back to the studio, when you take that drawing back to the studio and you try to think about this longer walk that I was trying to design, you can kind of use the drawing to re-access that sort of that larger sensory and temporal experience, and really kind of think about how to meaningfully connect each one of those experiences for someone else who might in future come and visit that place. So, yeah, it's really more about the sustained practice than it is about what it looks like in the end.